The Twins fall to the Yankees 10-4 in the series opener. Let's break this one down. A lot to talk about on today's episode of Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Tuesday, June 7th, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Today's episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. I'm Nash Walker, been running at Twins Daily for over 2 years, been hosting this podcast for over 2 years. This is season 4 at Twins Daily. This is season 3 as host of the pod. And for as long as I've been alive, 22 years, I was born in 2000, and probably before that, I'm sure before that as well. When the New York Yankees come to town, every Twins fan, that's your reaction. Oh no, here come the Yankees, because it does not matter how well the Twins are playing. It does not matter where they are in their season, how good the team is. If it's the playoffs, if it's the regular season, if it's in Minnesota, if it's at Yankee Stadium, they just can't handle the Yankees. They can't. The Yankees have owned this team for years and years and years. And are you surprised they waltz into Target Field and put up a 10 spot in game 1 of this series? There's a lot more to this. It's more complicated. It's 9 innings. It's a baseball game, but there's a lot of intricacies in this. The Yankees win 10-4 tonight. Cole Sands starts. It's Archer Wednesday, Dylan Bundy Thursday. The Twins need Joe Ryan and Sonny Gray back. Their pitching is decimated, absolutely decimated in the rotation. We know this. So are you surprised that the Yankees went out there and scored 10? I'm not at all. I'm not. I mean, Aaron Judge in the first inning hits a 2-run homer. That's just what he does. Giancarlo Stanton homers. That's what he does. This is what the Yankees do. This is a Yankees team that's 40-15, and they're facing Cole Sands, who I liked as a prospect, and I still think, could have a future in the big leagues, but not right now as a starter in these matchups. I mean, I didn't think Cole was bad tonight. I didn't think he was good by any means. I didn't think he was bad, though. I think the Twins getting out 5-4 in the 7th inning, that is, you sign up for that 10 out of 10 times with Taillon going against Cole Sands. You take that all day long. I would have signed up for what happened up until the 7th inning all day long. Tyler Duffey enters the game. The rest is history. It's probably time for Tyler Duffey. I think he's at a point where it's going to be very difficult to come back from this. His stuff clearly isn't there where you can point and say, well, it's okay because he's throwing hard and he's getting swings and misses. No, he's not. He's giving up homers. He's not getting swings and misses. This is not a super high leverage spot, and it's not low leverage, but the Twins are losing late. It's 5-4. They bring in Tyler Duffey. Rocco Baldelli, since he came in 2019, has always managed this way. When they are losing, he's not going to go to Yohan Duran. He's not going to go to Emilio Pagan. He's not going to go to his higher leverage relievers when the Twins are losing, especially in the first game of a series. That's not what he does. For better or worse, I think there are nights when he should do it. And tonight, you get into that inning, you're in a spot against the Yankees bullpen that is without Aroldis Chapman and Jonathan Loaisiga. They're two best relievers, and Clay Holmes has been awesome back there for them. But they don't have Chapman. They don't have Loaisiga. That was an opportunity to go to Duran or go to somebody else in the 7th inning. He didn't have to go to Duffey there. It was like Duffey was so bad, you are putting him into a situation that is not low leverage. He needs to be in the lowest of leverage situations, and that's not. And he blew it. He gives up a huge homer to Anthony Rizzo, and the game is over. It's 8-4. It's over. The game is not over at 5-4. I would have liked to see, and I want to see Yohan Duran all the time. It's not always right when I say, oh, I would have liked to see you. Of course, you'd like to see Yohan Duran in any inning at any time, and he's so much better than every other reliever back there that he always makes sense. He always makes sense unless the Twins are up by 15 or they're down by 15. Yohan Duran always makes sense, especially after a day off. He did pitch on Sunday. I would have gone to him there. I would have, because you don't know if you're going to get another opportunity in this series now. Like, you had a chance to win that game, and now you don't know if you'll get another one. And it's possible, like, Archer gives them 4 or 5 good innings. Duran and Jax partner up and they pitch 4 scoreless, and the Twins, pitch really well against the Yankees on Wednesday or Thursday. It's possible. But that was your chance. The offense showed up. The offense had scored 4 runs. They left some chances on the table, and they weren't stellar. But Jorge Polanco homers. Taillon's been super good, and they get to him a little bit, knock him out of the game, and they are without Loaisiga and Chapman. So I thought that was a mistake from Baldelli to go to Duffey there. Even, outside of Duran, maybe go to Pagan there. He hasn't pitched in a couple of days. Like, maybe go to Pagan in the 7th inning. And if Pagan gets through the 7th and the Twins find a way to score, you go to Duran in the 8th and 9th, but you give your offense one more chance in the 7th inning. He kind of took away that chance by going to Tyler Duffey, who has been awful. He's been awful. I mean, what else do you expect from Tyler Duffey right now? He's been terrible, and you took that opportunity away from the offense in the 7th inning. I thought Duffey's just got to perform better. I mean, he sucks. He's been so bad for them, and it's frustrating to watch, because I remember the days a couple weeks ago even where Tyler Duffey looked good. And I remember certainly when he was one of the best relievers in the American League and one of the best setup men in all of baseball. I remember that. It's real. It's true. It happened for more than just 1 year. He was a great reliever for 2 years for the Twins. It looks like it's over for him. It looks like it's over. And you can't, in game 1 of the Yankees series, I don't think you can give that game away right there. And they did, and it sucks. Let's talk more about this game. The offense. Byron Buxton had a just brutal plate appearance. He did double in the 1st inning, but had a very poor plate appearance. Let's talk about Buxton, talk about this offense, talk about Luis Ariz, who left with a shoulder problem. I don't even want to say that because it sucks so bad. Let's talk about it after this word from Rock Auto. This episode is brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer. So what should you do? Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. We have an important favor to ask you. We've put together a survey so we can learn more about listeners like you and make your favorite Locked On podcast even better. This is your opportunity to tell us what you like and don't like about Locked On Podcast. Go to LockedOnPodcast.com/survey right now to get started. It won't take very long, and everyone that completes the survey can qualify for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Ticketmaster gift cards. To take our audience survey, go to LockedOnPodcast.com/survey. Thanks for your help. Byron Buxton comes up in a spot where the Twins could have really used a run with 2 outs and runners on, and he had a terrible at-bat. It's been kind of a calling card of this slump. His at-bats are not good for a majority of them. Swinging through stuff in the zone, chasing away from the zone. He's not right. He's not right. And he's not right even after a really solid Game 1 performance in Toronto on Friday. He's not right. It's very clear. And Nick Nelson wrote a piece at Twins Daily. Maybe shutting down Byron Buxton is the best thing for him right now, putting him on the injured list. Maybe Luis Ariz goes on the injured list now with a shoulder problem. I think very straightforward. If Luis Ariz goes on the injured list, which we don't know, he has shoulder tightness. If he goes on the injured list, it's a lefty, Nestor Cortez anyway. On Wednesday, he wasn't going to play anyway. But if he does go on the injured list and he's unable to face Garrett Cole on Thursday, it's Alex Kirilloff coming up for the Twins, who's absolutely crushed at St. Paul. He just steps in as your first baseman against righties. It's nice to have that depth, but Luis Ariz, I've said recently, especially because he's been unbelievably good, was unbelievably good again tonight. His absence is felt the second most to Byron Buxton. Maybe not right now for Buck, but overall in a full season, who are the 2 players you feel most when they're missing? And I would say, we haven't seen the full Carlos Correa experience. I would guess over a full season, your two best players are the answer to that. But it's not always true. I think there's an energy. I think there's a style. And I think Luis Arraez is number 2. He's a clear number 2 for me. When Buxton's out, it's so obvious that this team is way worse, over a full season. When Luis Arraez is out, this lineup is way less, it's much less dynamic. It's much less tough, I think, on an opposing pitcher. And it doesn't mean it's a bad lineup with a lot of Luis Arraez, but there's just an element that he brings when he does play. And it's special. And especially against tough pitchers, he's more consistent than, say, a Byron Buxton against a tough right-handed pitcher. Or, I don't know, maybe a Max Kepler or a Jose Miranda. Luis Arraez is much more consistent against good pitching because of his style, because of his approach. And he is going to struggle more against good pitchers, as everybody does, but it feels like that drop-off is a lot less with Luis Arraez, and he's able to get to pitches. He's able to get to velocity. He's able to get to off-speed stuff. So you really want him Thursday for Garrett Cole. It would suck if he was out for that game. Now the Twins, I think, are set up in a tricky spot with Nestor Cortez, who's been unfreaking real, like unbelievable. I say unbelievable a lot. Actually unbelievable with his stuff, what he's doing for the Yankees. He's going to go Wednesday against Chris Archer, and then Thursday is Dylan Bundy against Garrett Cole. I drew up Thursday as an insta loss. I call it an insta loss. This is baseball. You never know. But Garrett Cole dominated the Twins at Target Field last year. It was Dobnak Cole. You knew that game was over before it started. And I think that Thursday game is probably over before it started, which makes it even more frustrating that Baldelli went to Duffey in the 7th inning tonight and didn't use someone better when the Twins were down by 1 run. It's frustrating. We'll see if Kirilloff comes up. I don't know. I don't think he'll be up Wednesday because it's a lefty in Nestor Cortez, but it's possible he's up Thursday for Cole. Correa sounds like he's going to return, which is amazing news, especially for the lefty. That's great. Great news. And finally, feels like maybe the Twins lineup is coming to roost, that these guys are getting healthy. Knock on wood, just as Luis Arraez. I keep Luis Arraez now dinged up, but it felt like for a second there, the Twins lineup was getting healthier. The hits just keep on coming for them, right? In the rotation, in the lineup. I'm not surprised by this result tonight. Like, I have things to say, but of course the Yankees scored 10 runs on Cole Sands, Trevor McGill, Wamanaya, and the Twins bullpen. Their C bullpen from AAA. That's what happened here. I mean, where do you go for the rest of this series? What else can you take from game 1? I don't think it's a huge deal they lost this game, and they can win one of these next 2, possibly win Wednesday, probably a much better chance to win Wednesday. But let's break that down after this word from Built Bar. Don't you love a chewy chocolatey brownie? What about a caramel brownie with caramel swirled on top? So good. What if I told you that you can't have all that chewy chocolatey deliciousness plus 17 grams of protein? You're in luck because caramel brownie bars are available at Built.com right now. And you got to act fast because they're a fan favorite. Forget about dessert. These are better than dessert. Plus the macros are unreal. 130 calories, 17 grams of protein, and only 4 grams of sugar. I'd replace a regular brownie with Built's caramel brownie bar in a heartbeat. The best part, caramel brownie bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Like, for real. With Built, you don't have to sacrifice tasty for healthy. You can have both. There are a million reasons you should try Built bars, but for now, let's just say that caramel brownie will rock your world. That's not an understatement. With Built, tasty is the new healthy. Go to Built.com to get your box of caramel brownie bars now. Go to Built.com. Use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. We knew this was going to be a tough series with the probables. I mean, we knew Toronto was going to be tough, and they smacked the Twins in game 2. The Twins won game 1 and game 3, and they won the series, and they gave up 12 runs in game 2 and got absolutely destroyed. So a 10-4 loss is just the same as a 6-5 loss. If you're the Twins, it counts the same in the loss column. You show up tomorrow. I love the approach at the plate tonight for Taillon. Again, I thought they had a chance to win this game Tuesday night. They had a chance to win this game. Just give yourself a chance, and you have Duran fresh. Pagan, is it a good thing that he's fresh? TBD. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe Archer repeats what he did in Detroit. goes 4 or 5 solid innings. I think against this Yankees lineup, it's very right-handed. It would be a success to go 4 or 5, giving up 2 earned runs. If he can do that, I'll say good job, Chris Archer. Couple earned runs over 4 or 5 innings. They'll chase. They'll chase. Giancarlo Stanton will chase. Donaldson will chase at times. Judge will chase. You can get these guys out chasing on off-speed stuff. Maybe Archer can spot up his slider. He had a great feel for it in Detroit. He was throwing strikes. Maybe he comes out and he does that against the Yankees. And he's kind of a gamer. He's somebody who understands the assignment. So maybe he does that for them Wednesday. I'm hopeful. And this pen is fresh. They used Juan Minaya and Yennier Cano and Trevor McGill tonight and Tyler Duffey. They didn't use Yohan Duran. They didn't use Emilio Pagan. It's sad that there's only really 2. They didn't use Joe Smith, who I think might be good against these Yankees righties as well. They didn't use those guys. So here's the plan. You hope for 5 from Archer. You plan for 4. You go Jax 5-6. You go Duran 7-8, or you go Pagan 7, Duran 8-9, or Smith 7, Pagan 8, Duran 9, some kind of combination. But I think you're going Archer, Jax on Wednesday. If Archer struggles early, go to Jax. Give yourself a chance. You can't let these games get away from you. And they didn't on Tuesday. So credit to Cole Sands, credit to the Twins bullpen. They gave up 5 runs or whatever through the 6th inning and the 7th inning, getting into the 7th. They gave up 5 runs, which is not great. But against this Yankees lineup with Cole Sands starting and the Twins offense scoring 4, that's okay. That's fine. If they give up 5 runs through 6 innings, again, it's not good, but what are your expectations for this series with the matchups? If this was Joe Ryan tonight and the Yankees had scored 5 going into the 7th, I'd be like, that's not good. That's a failure. What happened to Joe Ryan tonight? He didn't give them a chance to win. It's Cole Sands and the Twins BC bullpen, and they gave up 5 through 6. It's what you'd expect, and it's not a disaster. They didn't give the game away. Chris Archer hopefully doesn't give the game away Wednesday. It's possible with him. When he's not throwing strikes, he'll give up homers. It's possible he could let this thing get away. But if I'm the Twins, if I'm Rocco Baldelli and Wes Johnson, knowing what is ahead in the series, and they should have done this tonight, and they didn't, knowing what's ahead, you have Garrett Cole Thursday. I'm telling you, I know this game is crazy, and I know I probably said the same thing about Kevin Gausman Sunday. Gausman going against Smeltzer. That game is 80-85% in favor of the Yankees to me with Bundy and Cole. Knowing that, I think you do as much as you can tomorrow to win. As much as you can against Nestor Cortez, the lefty. And maybe Cortez ends up being a tougher matchup than Cole. You never know. And you never know, on anything. Maybe Cole doesn't pitch. You never know what's going to happen. I would focus Wednesday on not saving arms. Let's try to win a game. Let's try to win one of these 3, because now you have to win one of the next 2 or you're swept. So I didn't think this game was managed well past the 6th inning. I thought it was okay up until that point. They pulled Sands probably at the right time, maybe a little late. I wouldn't have let him see Judge again, but there's not much damage there. It ended up being okay. So poorly managed in the 7th, I would definitely say. Twins lose to the Yankees 10-4. We'll be back with a postgame tomorrow, hopefully after a Twins win. I want to thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen today. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB. I'm going to go on with Sully very soon. I'm very excited. On the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. Follow me on Twitter at NashWalker9. Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Tell your friends about Locked On Twins. Even if you have a YouTube account you don't use, please subscribe so I can get that number up. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and go Twins.